two more videos, or I guess three, just quickly before we go to Ola. This guy who you're about to see was nuts. He was holding up a sign that said Israel equals Nazis. He was also wearing a big Christian cross, and on the other side, he had his poster had an American flag, and it said free speech. And I just want to show you how close he was to students. And then we'll talk about what I observed as far as students' reactions to him.
Biden. Under the Biden administration, the Secretary of State is Jewish. The Secretary of Treasury is Jewish. The Secretary of Homeland Security is Jewish. The Attorney General is Jewish. The Director of National Intelligence is Jewish. Jews control America. Everything, Wall Street, the media, tech, the fashion industry, Hollywood, professional sports. Jews are 2% of the population. The Ivy League, there are eight Ivy League schools. Harvard, Princeton, Yale, Brown, Dartmouth, Cornell, and Columbia. 6 of them have Jewish presidents. Jews are 2%. 2% of the population. Their domination of the Ivy League is typical of their domination of every sector in America.
Yeah.
We live in a Jew, we're under siege with powerful, rich Jews, and they have corrupted our...
Okay, so you get the point. This guy is spewing venom and hatred. And by the way, not in that video, but afterwards, he said that Jews have a, quote, diabolical agenda to bring witchcraft and child sacrifice back, he said back as if it happened, to the United States. So why do I play a clip of this guy? Some people may say, and they would be absolutely right, that this guy does not appear at all to be affiliated with Columbia University, and he's just a crazy nutbag standing on the sidewalk. So why would you give him attention, Julie, or why would you play this clip? Well, I think his presence on that sidewalk, just as the presences of all of the aforementioned groups and what they were saying on that sidewalk, is very important and reveals a lot about the university. Because clearly that guy thought that the sidewalk outside of Columbia would be a hospitable place for him to set up shop and spew his vitriolic anti-Semitic agenda. And of course, with all of these protests, there are some people who are protesting, the invasion of Gaza, or protesting Israel's perhaps imminent invasion of Rafah. Protesting the actions of Israel is not anti-Semitic. I want to be very clear about that definition when I throw it out. But that guy who's saying Israel equals Nazis, who's saying, as you just heard, that Jews have this, control everything, and they have this agenda, and they have a diabolical agenda to bring witchcraft and child sacrifice to the United States, that is in a totally different camp than protesting Israel's actions. But when I use that term to label that guy as an anti-Semite, it is warranted. That guy is a vicious anti-Semite. And so when he is standing outside of Columbia, we have to ask the question, why does he think that Columbia is a hospitable place for him to park out front and spew his hatred? It's because that things are going on at that university, which makes that individual think that it is a hospitable place for him to spew his hatred. And here's a follow-up question for you. Why is it that in my 3 hours standing outside observing all of this, why is it that I did not see a single Columbia student confront this guy? Now, in some ways, I get it. When there's a crazy dude saying crazy stuff, you may not want to get near it for safety reasons. I got it. But even more than that, when students would walk by, many of them would throw up a fist in support of him or give a thumbs up. Why is that? And here's the $1 million question. If that guy were standing outside of Columbia and he substituted the word Jew for any other protected class in the United States, if he said women have a diabolical agenda, trans people have a diabolical agenda, illegal immigrants have a diabolical agenda, black people, now he was black, but you got my point, black people have a diabolical agenda, substitute anything else besides the word Jew, and I bet you would see people protesting him or confronting him and trying to shout down his hatred. So why is it that a guy can set up shop and spew such hatred and bigotry towards Jews and people just walk by and give him a thumbs up? But then if it were anything else, you know that there would be a huge cabal of people surrounding him, shouting him down.